This substance, cannabis, is a whole lot less harmful.
I love that clip of Paul McCartney yucking up with reporters after he got busted with cannabis in Barbados. It is my third favorite Paul McCartney cannabis legal incident, and I'll share the other two. If you watch the clip, he's making jokes with reporters, but he's also saying seriously, cannabis is less harmful than rum and nicotine and glue and other substances that are legal in the UK. And this was in 1984. Not a ton of people are saying this. The medical marijuana movement of San Francisco was just erupting out of the AIDS crisis, and there weren't a ton of people saying that this is something that is not harmful. Especially when, exactly 4 years earlier, this had really screwed up his career. He was in Japan, and he got caught with cannabis there. And the Japanese have then and still have a very restrictive cannabis policy. And so he was put in jail for a bunch of days. He got deported from the country. The rest of his Japanese tour got canceled. It was a big deal. And he said he was never going to smoke cannabis again. And then 4 years later, he gets busted with cannabis in Barbados. And of course, cannabis was always important to the Beatles ever since they were turned on to it by Bob Dylan's manager with Bob Dylan. And there are a lot of great songs. If you want to talk about your favorite cannabis lines in the Beatles songs, I'd love to hear them. And I'll share the last incident because it was pretty recently. Apparently, Paul McCartney's been growing hemp on his property in England, and some kids apparently got onto the property and stole a bunch of his hemp plants, probably thinking that they were stealing grass from one of the kings of rock and roll that was going to get them high, and instead they got non-psychoactive hemp, which was probably good for them, but they weren't going to get as high as they'd hoped.